we can definitely relate to somebody who wants ease in their life, who wants protection in their life and safety and has... Hey guys, welcome back. Let's see what we were talking about last few times. We were talking about feelings and we were talking about universal needs to which we all can relate, even though we may not necessarily relate to the particular situation or the strategy of how we're going to meet that need, but we can definitely relate to somebody who wants ease in their life, who wants protection in their life and safety and has a need for food and also has a need to belong. Can we all relate to somebody? Can we all feel compassion to somebody who has the need for belonging? We all do on some level, some of us deeper, some of us higher, but we all do. So today we are gonna talk about, drum roll, why we think what we think. It's actually, the answer is quite simple. The answer is very similar to what we spoke about last time, which is our universal needs are not being met. And I'm going to talk specifically about judgments and about assumptions, because those are key when we get into the pattern that is actually draining us of energy, is it just keeps on recycling, we just keep on venting about something going on. It's really our judgment and our evaluation and our assumptions that we're making. So let's unravel the judgments. Step back into our wiser self. And Marshall Rosenberg said beautifully, judgments are tragic expressions of our unmet needs. Hear this again. Judgments are tragic expressions of our unmet needs. Tragic expressions of our unmet needs, our own. When we make a judgment, it's our own needs that are not being met, and then we launch into not expressing our feelings and not recognizing our needs, but instead we project that on somebody else. And I'm not gonna go too much into thinking about it. We're gonna go into example right away. So close your eyes if you would like, or just kind of like listen to my voice and focus on the words that I'm saying. And there's going to be 4 different ways of saying the same thing. So listen for now. I heard you say you got a B in math, but I'm seeing a D on this report card. That's example 1. I say it again. I heard you say you got a B in math, but I am seeing a D on this report card. Okay, example 2. You said you got a B in math, but this report card has a D. Again. You said you got a B in math, but this report card shows a D. Okay? Example 3. What you told me about your grade in math was a lie. What you told me about your grade in math was a lie. And example 4. You lied to me. You lied to me about your grade. Okay, so that was the example where you got to hear 4 different versions of saying the same exact thing, but thinking about it slightly differently. So let's look at them right now on the screen all together. And notice the highlighted parts in it. You lied to me about your grade. We're putting the blame on somebody. You lied to me. So we're making this assumption, we're making this judgment, right? What you told me about your grade isn't true. So again, we're making this assumption, something isn't true. You told me something and something isn't true. There is a flavor of blame in that. going up one more. You said you got a B, but this report card says it's a D. So now we're stepping back from the blame part a little bit, and we're just speaking about facts, something that is observable, something that is objective, and we can put that on what you said and what the card says. So now we juxtapose, but we're not making an assumption about a lie, about this person being bad or anything like that. We're just watching what has exactly happened. And finally, the first one, I heard you say you got a B in math, but am I seeing a D in this report? And so notice how now we take on this responsibility for our own what I heard, because I could have heard incorrectly, right? I also could be seeing incorrectly, and there could be a possible explanation that I'm not even thinking about at this moment when I am looking at the report card and I'm seeing the discrepancy from what I heard. So this is where, like, it's a prime example of how we can express ourselves in 4 different ways, and I want to encourage you to start thinking about these different ways and to start expressing yourself in the top 2 or even the top 1, the one where we take on the responsibility, where we recognize this is what happened for me, how is this for you? And so let's go to another example. Because a lot of times we fall into these judgments and assumptions when we're speaking in the words like should and deserve and all of that. So let's jump into another example. This person should feel ashamed for taking my spot. This person should feel ashamed for taking my parking spot. Okay? There's a should in there. So it's up to us to recognize our judgment, which is what's happening right now, our evaluation, they should be ashamed, our assumption, is actually our unmet need. So what is my unmet need over there? Well, I had a need for ease of parking to go to the store. I had a need for timeliness, maybe because I'm in a rush and I'm just feeling frustrated and upset and I'm just venting about this person. So notice how now I can roll back and recognize what's going on for me. So if I see that person, let's say I recognize, oh, holy smokes, it's actually my neighbor who did that, and they should be ashamed, right? And then I see that neighbor in the store or elsewhere, I can step back from it and recognize, oh, maybe they had something else going on as well. Or maybe they just didn't see me and they parked in that spot, you know? So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, which is really important for us to bring forth in this life in order to not generate those perpetuating cycles of pain and suffering and feeling grudges, holding grudges like towards various peoples for the things that we think that they have done against us, while in fact that they were just meeting our own needs and we need to meet our own needs in a different manner, you know? Okay, one more example. When somebody says, I cannot believe that you are watching that show. That's unbelievable, right? Somebody's making a judgment about a certain show that you're watching. And it's very easy for us to just feel offended, like, oh my gosh, are you judging me for watching that show, right? We can go into the drought. But when we put on our NVC, nonviolent communication, NVC ears, it's kind of an expression of like feeling into the empathy and feeling into the needs of the other person instead of focusing on my own stuff. If we're able to do that and fall back into our wiser self and listen to what exactly is flowing underneath that statement that I cannot believe you're watching that show. Oh my gosh. What really goes on behind this judgment is unmet need that this person is expressing. And what is that unmet need? What do you think that unmet need is? Perhaps there is a need for intellectual stimulation that's not being met, or entertainment that's not being met, or diversity of people that's not being met, or similarity of people, or relatedness, or timeliness. Maybe they're just like flabbergasted by you spending so much time watching that show. Whatever it is, they have a need. They are expressing it in this way that is kind of painful for us, maybe even here. But if we are able to pull back and recognize that they really have a need that maybe they are or they're not realizing. Okay, one more example, which is something that I heard from some friends, so it's actually really good. It's a real true life example. It is, they were discussing, I think, games, like football, soccer, all of that stuff. And this person said to this other person, at least my husband doesn't watch football, right? They made this statement, at least my husband doesn't watch football. And there is this kind of like, let's say I have a husband who's watching football. I can feel hurt. I can feel like insecure, unsafe, maybe triggered by that kind of statement. But if I'm able to put on that NVC ears, if I'm able to open up and relate to what this person is speaking about and remember that it's all about their unmet need, then let's roll back and look at it. At least my husband doesn't watch football. What is the unmet need of this person? What need is being met by their husband not watching football? Do you see how it goes from there? So check out your needs sheet, and here it is showing up on the screen again. Look at this needs sheet and try to think, if somebody were to tell you, at least my husband doesn't watch football, if you were to overhear that, what would be your guess that for a need that this person is expressing? My guesses would be that this person is needing time, or they're needing entertainment, or they're needing less violence in the world. And those are the needs that are not being met. And so this person is actually feeling grateful that at least their husband is not participating in this violent thing, or maybe this really manly, or this really rowdy, or this really, I don't know what other assumptions they're making. It's probably like context related in what they said. But you see how it goes? So try it out for yourself. Watch yourself. Watch when you make assumptions or judgments and pull back from them into your wiser self. Instead of hearing the scratchiness or like somebody like triggering you or whatnot, just recognize that for yourself, that that felt hurtful, that feels sad, that feels like I'm feeling some anger coming up. Pull back from that and witness what are the needs that are not being met that person is expressing. And comment below and explore. It would be so cool if you were able to share that kind of stuff with us so we all can learn, because it happens everywhere, I guarantee you. And in the future lessons, we're going to be talking more about this, and we're going to be bringing in more examples and looking at them from different perspectives. But start doing that right now. Start doing that in your daily life. What kind of judgments are you making about yourself? What are the things you're telling yourself you should be doing? What should your partner be doing? Your co-workers, what do they deserve? Deserve is another word. This person deserves to be cold right now, because they didn't insulate their house, that kind of stuff. What kind of things, statements are you making? Roll back into that to see what is need of yours, that need of yours that's not being met, that pulling you into making those judgments, assumptions, should statements, and whatnot. All right. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time. Bye.